Poll from Quinnipiac University is shedding light on how Texans are feeling about the current political climate, specifically when it comes to illegal immigration and granting citizenship. For a closer look and some perspectives from both sides of the aisle tonight, we're joined by Ed Espinoza, Executive Director of Progress Texas, and Gary Teal, the Executive Director of the Travis County Republican Party. Gentlemen, first let's take a look at some of the results of this poll. According to Quinnipiac, when asked if undocumented immigrants should stay in the U.S. and be granted citizenship, 47% of Republicans say yes, they should stay and be granted citizenship. That's compared with 87% from Democrats. Gary Teal, what do you think about those numbers from this latest poll?
Well, I think that there are many undocumented immigrants in different situations, and I think that the public has been saying for a while that the young people who came here with their parents and have lived their entire lives in the United States are people who we probably should find a way to get some kind of path to citizenship, and so that's probably factoring into that number.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the DACA kids. Part of that has been in the poll as well. Real quickly, though, Ed, as far as this first general question, you know, what's your take on, especially the number of Republicans saying, yeah, give them a path?
Yeah, I think it shows that opinions on immigration are changing, that most people are getting more comfortable with the idea of comprehensive immigration reform. They understand the problems that are in the system, and that it is not such a binary issue, that it's actually a very nuanced issue, and that it requires more than sound bites and bumper sticker slogans to address it, that we need to have a serious conversation about this. And I believe that 47% of Republicans in that poll might have actually been a plurality of Republicans, if I remember it correctly. Either way, opinions are changing, and I think it's time for a serious conversation on comprehensive immigration reform.
Okay, well, this poll also talked about DACA, and Gary Teal, I know you were talking about that as well. So let's look at the results when DACA was brought up. When asked if they support allowing undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children to remain in the country and eventually apply for citizenship, here's what Republicans and Democrats had to say. 64% of Republicans saying yes, 97% of Democrats saying yes. Gary, back to you, as you were just mentioning, you yourself are saying, hey, if they're brought here as young children and grow up here, they should have a pathway.
Well, wasn't my opinion. I'm saying that a lot of Republicans feel that way, and a lot of Americans feel that way. I'm talking about the fact that there are different illegal aliens in different categories and different situations, but this is a group that many Americans agree has not done anything to break the law. They were merely accompanied by their parents.
You know, Ed Espinoza, you've got a majority of Republicans, almost 100% of the Democrats polled on this DACA question, yet still in Washington, no deals.
I think it shows how out of touch some people inside the Beltway are right now. And in fact, the last time this came up for debate in the Senate, there was a vote to advance debate on Dreamer legislation, and that passed 97-1. The lone vote against it was Ted Cruz. So they've got some, the Republicans have got some soul searching to do on this issue, particularly here in Texas, because public support is in favor of these dreamers of immigration reform, and in particular these dreamers right now. And it's time for a serious conversation on this.
Beto O'Rourke wants to highlight that, that bit of information. Okay, we want to look at one final question from this poll. When asked about the border wall, 81% of Republicans support the idea of building a wall along the border, while just 14% of Democrats support that idea. Gary, seems like a border wall is very popular among Republicans. Are you surprised only 14% of Democrats were for a wall, or did you think that number might actually be smaller?
No, I think that it's time for us to have a little compassion for these people who come to America just looking for a better life, but the law does not support their presence here, so they are fugitives from the law, and this isn't good for those people. We can address the wall so that we keep people from continuing that illegal immigration, and address the people who have been here for many, many years through other legislation. And I think it's going to be a deal where we have a wall and some sort of path to citizenship for those young people.
So, Gary, you envision a wall and a path to citizenship. Ed Espinoza,
has to be a deal.
Vision?
Well, first of all, in that poll, I'd like to see the crosstabs to see how many of those people polled actually live at the border. But second of all, the problem with the law, Gary talks about the law, and I appreciate that, but the fact is the law is broken, and it hasn't been updated in a long time, and the wall is largely symbolic. If you go back as recent as 2013 and you look at the number of people who have come into the country, and they're undocumented, 40% of those flew here and overstayed their visas. And no wall is going to stop that. So if you really want to address this issue, a wall is not going to fix it. We need to be smarter about the way we're going to address this issue.
Okay, well, obviously an ongoing issue, and that's one poll. There will be many more. Ed, Gary, want to thank you both for coming by tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks.